and welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Tonight's big story: cleaning a city after a disastrous storm can be a lengthy process, but people are working together to do what they can. Alexandria continues to recover from damage caused by the weather this past weekend. A number of businesses and road signs are still down, along with billboards. Many areas also sustained damage from fallen trees on homes and vehicles. A significant amount of debris has been cleaned, but some establishments are facing major repairs to roofs and windows. Some will also need furniture and equipment replacement due to water damage. Most businesses that received minor damage or no interior damage are up and running as usual. The Penny Acres subdivision experienced almost knee-deep water accumulation shortly after the storm. Isabella Drive in the subdivision still has caution signs saying the road is closed due to high water. Water level was expected to rise last night, but today it seems that it is receding. Residents are still advised to avoid driving on roads around that area with high water. The good news: beautiful weather has now settled into central Louisiana as we get closer to the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers is here with your weather now.
Hey Scott, yeah, definitely enjoying some very nice weather out there today. Temperatures into the upper 60s to low 70s. Still a little gusty on those winds. Had wind gusts even at last hour into the upper 20s in some areas for those gusty winds. Now it looks like a beautiful day though for your Friday. Lots of sunshine, but staying on the cooler side as our highs do stay in the low 70s for Friday afternoon. But warmer weather for the weekend. Mid 70s for highs on Saturday, low 80s back in the forecast on Sunday, and then mostly cloudy skies continue early next week with some rain chances coming in early next week as well. But until then, we're going to stay pretty dry around the area, which is good news for us to help dry us out over the next several days. Right now, weekend looking very good across our area. So take a look at our surface map. Then again, not much going on as far as weather goes here. We're seeing the temperatures actually staying a little bit below average for this time of year, and we'll continue to see those temperatures just slightly below average as we head into your Friday, but that warmer weather definitely back in the forecast as we head into the weekend. And we'll talk more about that with your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Habitat for Humanity is offering an application session this month. This nonprofit, made famous by former President Jimmy Carter, provides housing for the working poor.
It's a month long. Applicants have from April the 1st until April the 30th to get an application and return it to our office. And then once we select the person, they will actually become a Habitat partner.
So what does the ideal candidate look like?
Well, I would say someone that's currently in a situation where they are cost burdened by high rent, or they're in a place that's very overcrowded, or it's falling down around them and they have a need for something that's safer and more affordable.
For more information, check out their website or call them at 449-9804. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. During the month of April, the Exchange Club of Alexandria provides a number of public awareness programs geared toward child abuse. The club welcomed a guest speaker today at one of their annual meetings to address that very subject.
Sadly, Louisiana has one of the worst statistic rates for child abuse, not only in the U.S. but in the world. So it's very important to bring this to public awareness so that people are not ashamed to talk about it, that people are not afraid to come forward. There are mandated reporters who have to report child abuse legally, but the rest of us, in my mind, need to be mandated reporters. We're not officially, but if a child is being abused, either neglected or actively abused, the child doesn't have a voice, and we need to be the child's voice to speak up for that child.
If you know of a child who is being actively neglected, abused, or in danger of being subjected to abuse, you can make an anonymous report by calling 1-800-422-4453. Well, if you've been traveling between here and Baton Rouge, you've probably seen the strawberries for sale along the highway. The Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival gets underway tomorrow, and some 20,000 visitors are expected at this second largest free event in Louisiana.
We're in our 46th year, and it has just obviously grown to the largest free festival in the state of Louisiana. The second weekend in April will be the official Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival, and so we will have a lot of different events that will be going on throughout the entire 3-day period of time there, including our parade. We have a auction of strawberries that will be on Saturday. We have the road race, egg toss, sack races, Of course, a lot of entertainment with bands on stages in different areas of the park, and it's going to be consuming Ponchatoula as a whole. So we invite all the public to come out and enjoy what a beautiful weekend.
And for more information, you can visit the festival websites. The shrub daisy is a summer plant that produces beautiful yellow blooms through the spring and summer. You can find them at a local nursery now. On this edition of Get It Growing, LSU Ag Center horticulturist Dan Gill explains how you can use this strikingly beautiful plant in your own landscape.
Today, I'd like to introduce you to a really wonderful plant. It blooms all summer long, and it's called the bush daisy or shrub daisy. This is a really great plant. It's Euryopsis is the Latin name, and it produces these beautiful golden daisy flowers from the time you purchase it in the spring until the weather turns cold in November or December. You just can't find a better workhorse producing flowers for you in the garden. Now, it's gorgeous in containers. It's great as an accent plant on sunny porches or patios, plant that loves the sun, or you can plant it in your flower beds. It does beautifully in well-drained, well-prepared sunny beds. Now, tenderness is an issue. It's not real hardy, and so the winters here give it some problems. In South Louisiana, the shrub daisy oftentimes will survive the winter and come back and bloom for you a whole nother year. If you have it in containers, you can always bring it in on those nights that it will freeze. In North Louisiana, the cold winters will usually do it in, so don't rely on this as a perennial up north. In the southern part, it's a tender perennial, but it's a wonderful plant. For the money you invested in the spring, it gives you these gorgeous flowers. Daisies, by the way, get their name because the old name of the sun was the day's eye. And when people saw this pretty little flower with the disc in the middle and these ray-like petals coming out from around it, well, it reminded them of the sun, and so they called these flowers day's eyes. Well, of course, over time, day's eye turned into daisy, and so we call them that to this very day. Think about adding some bush daisies to your landscape. You'll be glad you did. For Get It Growing, I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.
And for more information on other lawn and garden topics, contact your parish LSU Ag Center Extension Service Office or visit the LSU Ag Center website at lsuagcenter.com and click on the Lawn and Garden button.
Here comes the Easter Bunny, and he loves pecans. So KLAX TV is giving away a $200 gift card to Natchitoches Pecans. Just go to our website, our Facebook page, or our Twitter page. Click on the link and register to win. Enter daily through April 10th. Get ready to win from KLAX TV and Natchitoches Pecans.
The Senate has triggered the so-called nuclear option, changing the rules to confirm Supreme Court nominees, eliminating the 60-vote minimum to end a filibuster, clearing the path for Judge Neil Gorsuch's confirmation. ABC's Maggie Rulli reports from the Senate.
Final vote is 55 yeas, 45 nays. Upon reconsideration, the cloture motion is agreed to.
With that, Republicans have gone nuclear. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell celebrating as the nomination of Judge Neil Gorsuch moves forward. But much of the chamber remains serious, understanding the consequences of what just happened. From now on, it will take just a simple majority of 51 senators to approve a Supreme Court nominee, meaning the president's pick could now be confirmed to the nation's highest court without a single Democrat voting yes.
In a post-nuclear world, if the Senate and the presidency are in the hands of the same party, there's no incentive to even speak to the Senate minority. That's a recipe for more conflict.
But Republicans are blaming the Democrats for forcing their hand, calling their filibuster of Neil Gorsuch
unprecedented in the history of our Senate and out of all proportion to the eminently qualified judge who's actually before us.
And reminding Democrats that they went nuclear in 2013. But Democrats counter they only changed the rules for lower courts and made a point to hold the Supreme Court to a higher bar.
I think what Mitch McConnell did today is wrong, and it portends, I think, very contentious days coming into the future.
The mood here on Capitol Hill remains tense, and as the back and forth drama continues, the actual vote to confirm Judge Gorsuch to the Supreme Court is expected Friday night, just before lawmakers head out on a 2-week recess. On Capitol Hill, Maggie Rulli, ABC News.
U.S. official says the White House and Department of Defense are discussing military action against Syria. President Trump aboard Air Force One calling the chemical weapons attack a disgrace and suggests Syrian President Bashar al-Assad should step down. ABC's Serena Marshall has more, but first, a warning. Many will find these images disturbing.
This heartbreaking and disturbing photo. A father clutching his 9-month-old twins, victims of Tuesday's chemical attack in Syria. At least 80 people killed, including at least 30 children. Today, the Turkish Health Ministry naming the banned nerve agent sarin as the chemical used. President Donald Trump reacting to those images on Fox News today.
Well, I thought it was a terrible thing when you see little babies that are dead from gas, and a very, very, heinous form of gas, which very few people have access to. It's bad stuff. That's bad stuff. Really bad.
The president now considering possible military action, consulting Defense Secretary James Mattis and National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster.
To send a message, basically very clear message, that Assad will use all weapons as his choice in order to win this war.
Syria's foreign minister denying they carried out the attack, saying they have not and will not use this kind of weapon. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations blaming Russia.
Russia cannot escape responsibility for this.
Russia today cautioning against a rush to judgment, but offering a new stance.
Unconditional support is not possible in current world.
A U.S. official has confirmed a Syrian military aircraft was responsible for dropping those chemical weapons, and now military options are being discussed by the White House, including taking out Assad's air force. Serena Marshall, ABC News, New York.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is reviewing a recall of thousands of Ford cars, SUVs, and vans that can run low on coolant, potentially overheating and catching fire. Ford notified NHTSA about the recall, which has caused 29 engine fires. Ford says it will install a sensor to warn owners when coolant is low, but the sensor does not solve that underlying problem of the vanishing coolant. NHTSA could open an investigation to see if more repairs are needed. General Electric might be turning out the lights on its light bulb business. GE was founded, of course, by Thomas Edison 100 years ago. The Wall Street Journal reports GE has been interviewing investment banks to try and sell its consumer lighting business, which could bring in about $500 million. And YouTube has launched its live TV service. YouTube TV costs $35 a month. Features shows from the major networks, Bravo, ESPN, and Fox Sports. The YouTube TV service caters to that growing number of people who are cutting the cord. Chris rejoins us now with our weather, and what are we looking at as we inch close to the weekend?
Some beautiful weather out there today, a little on the breezy side though, but temperatures into the low 70s, just a few degrees below where we should be for this time of year. 76 degrees is our normal high here in central Louisiana. We saw a high of 72 after a morning low of 47. Looks like more of the same as we head into your Friday. Temperatures into the low 70s, but 80s back in the forecast for the weekend with lots of sunshine expected as well. So we'll talk more about that when we come back.
Stay connected with KLAX ABC 31. Visit us online anytime. Get today's top stories and trending topics. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. See our pics on Instagram. Watch us on YouTube. And make KLAXTV.com your home for local news and information. Plus, download the KLAX weather app for your smartphone or tablet. Get live current conditions, radar maps, alerts, and more. More ways to stay connected with KLAX TV.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to you. Not too bad of a day out there today. Yeah, a little breezy. Those winds were a little gusty here late this afternoon, as high as 25 to 30 miles per hour from much of our area, but temperatures into the low 70s. And did see some sunshine out there with a few clouds mixed in with that. Now, more sunshine expected for your Friday. Not quite as breezy. Those winds would die down below 10 miles per hour on Friday afternoon, but still going to be on the cooler side, as our highs will be much like we saw today, probably low 70s. In much of central Louisiana. But by the time we get to the weekend, still seeing a lot of sunshine around, but warming temperatures get back into our area. Should be back at least into the mid 70s, maybe upper 70s on Saturday. Low 80s return to the area by Sunday. So a beautiful weekend of weather across parts of the area. And then early next week, we do have to keep an eye on a system that could bring some rain back to the area about Tuesday or so. But even by then, still looking like temperatures stay well above where they should be for this time of year. Let's take a look at our surface map then for your Friday. Again, not much going on around our area. We're still enjoying a relatively calm weather here in parts of central Louisiana, but still on the cooler side too. High pressure not quite moving far enough to the east of our area, so we're going to still stay on the cooler side of that high pressure, but the windy conditions have pushed off to the east, which is good news for us. But once the high pressure does move a little further to the east, gets into parts of Mississippi and Alabama, we'll get into the warm side of it, which right now is in parts of Texas. You can see the warm air here in parts of Texas, even Oklahoma, and all the way up into Kansas and Nebraska. That will eventually push into our area here over the weekend and should get us back at least into the low 80s by Sunday afternoon. Before your Friday, again, a little cool start to your day. Once again, 44 around 7 o'clock in the morning, partly to mostly sunny skies, up to 73 by the afternoon. Again, just a couple degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Outside right now, we're still at 72 degrees, mostly sunny skies here in Alexandria. Dew point, very dry out there, 38 degrees is our current dew point, but still seeing some gusty winds, west-northwest winds at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Here's your high temperatures throughout the area. Again, low 70s to mid 70s in most areas late this afternoon. Again, about 4 to 5 degrees below where we should be this time of year. High temperature at 73 in Shreveport, 73 degrees also in Natchitoches, 74 Lake Charles, 72 degrees here in Alexandria, and 71 degrees today's high in Monroe. Before tonight, 44, partly cloudy skies on the chillier side, north-northwest winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Look for a high of 73, so about what we saw today, with partly sunny skies and nice winds, not quite as gusty, north-northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 7-day forecast in the upper 70s for your Saturday. Some beautiful sunshine across part of the area, then close to 80. We'll go for a high of 80 anyway on Sunday. Partly to mostly sunny skies, maybe a few more clouds Monday, back in the upper 70s. There's a chance of storms on Tuesday, mid 70s around, but then right back into low 80s by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Looking pretty dry here next several days, but also very warm too as you get into the weekend and early next week. Scott?
A new CDC report finds about 19% of pregnant women in the U.S. with confirmed Zika infection had a fetus or baby with Zika-related birth defects, including serious brain damage.
Risk of 10% is already concerning, but the risk may be even higher than that because babies who appear normal at birth may actually already have brain abnormalities.
In 2016, nearly 1,000 pregnant women from 44 states were at risk of having a pregnancy with Zika-related birth defects. A new study suggests omega-3 fatty acid may help offer protection against type 1 diabetes. Researchers in China found supplements of the fatty acid that's found in fish oil can improve glucose and insulin levels and can lower inflammation that leads to the development of type 1 diabetes. If you take supplements for heart health, new research suggests that your vitamin D pill might not be all it's cracked up to be. With more, here's Dr. Timothy Johnson.
They call it the sunshine vitamin, though it's likely also in the milk, fish, and eggs you eat as well. It's vitamin D, and past studies have suggested that having too little of it in your body is linked to a higher risk of heart disease. But if you had hopes that a vitamin D supplement would help your odds against heart disease, a new study out today could dash those hopes. Researchers in New Zealand studied more than 5,000 people for over 3 years to see if monthly vitamin D supplementation could cut the risk of heart attack, stroke, and arrhythmias. They found that those getting these vitamin D boosts fared no better than those who got a placebo treatment. The study is perhaps not the last chapter for vitamin D when it comes to heart disease prevention, but it's a reminder that even if you do use supplements, there are many other ways to better your chances of dodging heart trouble, and they start with a healthy, balanced diet, exercise, and staying away from cigarettes. And that's a message we can all take to heart. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
Coming up, NSU's Reagan Kaufman talks about his walk-off winner against Monroe. Plus, the Saints are reportedly interested in Adrian Peterson. Could they be bringing in the former MVP running back? That story's next.
When a case seems unsolvable, they see the incredible. Murder, motive, secrets. Bones Weekends.
Watch Bones weekends on KLAX ABC 31.
Twice in the past 7 games, NSU's Reagan Kaufman has seen a home run just turned foul or robbed. But in Wednesday night's game, he would not be denied. Heading into the ninth, the Demons were tied up with Monroe until Kaufman stepped up to the plate and mashed the game-winning walk-off home run.
When you do that, you give yourself a chance to do something like Reagan did there in ninth. And what a guy to let that happen to. I mean, he is what our program's about, toughness, and he's battled injured his whole career, and local guy, and just tremendous. I'm so proud of him and happy he got to do this.
Herrera is a great pitcher, man. I faced him probably 3 or 4 times in college, and he's kind of had my number, but it felt good. He gave me a good pitch to hit, and I just took advantage of it.
After dropping a midweek game to ULM, the NSU softball team will return to the Diamond tomorrow to start a 3-game set against Incarnate Word. Lady Demons sit in a tie for 8th place in the conference and are fighting for one of 6 league tournament spots as the conference season nears the midway point. First pitch tomorrow set for 5 p.m. Former LSU running back Leonard Fournette squashed all bugs this week concerning his health and weight at the Tigers' annual pro day. Fournette clocked in 12 pounds lighter than he was at the combine, and the projected first-round pick told scouts he's feeling 100.
They understood the situation I was in, and I kept playing with the injury. They respected it, and they always ask me if I'm 100% now. I give them the right answer. Yeah, I'm 100%. Nothing bothers me. Some people had concerns about me at 240. They said if I get to the next level, it's different, so I might be 250 playing. So I just wanted to show them that I can stay on course, be disciplined, and do what I have to do, and get my stuff, get my business in order.
Speaking of big, strong running backs, the New Orleans Saints are scheduled to meet with former Vikings tailback Adrian Peterson next week. After letting Tim Hightower leave via free agency, Saints are in the market for a running back to pair with Mark Ingram. The 32-year-old Peterson spent 10 seasons with the Vikings and eclipsed 1,000 yards in 7 times. Moving to the Diamond, former Philly great Ryan Howard has signed a minor league contract with the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta said Howard will report to extended spring training next week and then will join the AAA squad. Howard spent 13 seasons with the Phillies before leaving at the end of last season. He was the last remaining member of the 2018 Phillies World Series team. The 2006 NL MVP hit a career .258 with 382 home runs. The 2017 Masters teed off early this morning, and world #1 golfer Dustin Johnson, well, he's not a part of it. After suffering a back injury during a fall at his rental home last night, Johnson tried to give it a try today, but before he even took his first swing, he walked off the tee box, withdrew from the tournament. So Johnson joins the 2014 version of Tiger Woods as the only #1 ranked player to not play in the Masters. Scott, recap from day one. Charlie Hoffman sitting at 7 under. He's leading. The next closest is at 3 under. So he's got a 4-stroke lead after day one. Phil Mickelson at 1 under. Rory McIlroy at even. And then the 2015 champion Jordan Spieth 3 over on the first day. So he's got a long way to go if he wants to make that cut.
I am still just trying to imagine Drew Brees and Adrian Peterson in the backfield together.
I know.
That could be an offense.
Yeah, it would.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
A horse is a horse, except sometimes it's a hobby horse. Up next on ABC 31 News, a craze that's now a competition with more and more athletes hopping to it.
Here comes the Easter Bunny, and he loves pecans. So KLAX TV is giving away a $200 gift card to Natchitoches Pecans. Just go to our website, our Facebook page, or our Twitter page. Click on the link and register to win. Enter daily through April 10th. Get ready to win from KLAX TV and Natchitoches Pecans.
There's a new craze in Scandinavia that is taking horsing around to a whole new level. It's called hobby horsing. Riders try to impress judges with their equestrian skills, including style, posture, and show jumping. Yep, there it is.
Hobby horsing.
We're out of time. Thanks for watching.
Predators better pray.
Crime Watch Daily airs weekdays at 3 on KLAX TV.
To catch a killer, you gather the evidence.
There's blood on the screen.
And build a picture-perfect case.
One of you stabbed her 12 times.
Hold on, there, FBI. Bones Weekends.
Weekends on KLAX TV.